Hi everyone, I'm Lynn from Cavy Central, and we've got here a little guinea pig that was surrendered with her sister. Both of them have problems, and I wanted to share this one with you so you get a little bit of hands-on experience about what to recognise and how to treat. And so firstly, she's a gorgeous Abyssinian, beautiful girl, and around here on her back, if we can zoom in a bit, you'll notice she has a sebaceous cyst which has ruptured, and if you look carefully there you can see there's still pus in that area, and there's a top where she's actually nibbled it open. Now we've left that go because when she arrived it was looking like it was about to rupture. Rather than us intervening, she's actually nibbled at it and that has happened, but we need to clean that up so it doesn't cause further infection and that we don't have future problems. So in order to do that, the first thing I'm going to do is just wrap her up where she can't nip me, and I've got a really warm compress here which I'm just going to apply onto that area. So by putting a warm compress onto the area, we're just softening it, and it's been sitting there for a while. Apparently it has grown relatively quickly over the last few months. But of course, once they get to the point where they're going to rupture, they're really quite large. This one was like a very big marble, and I've got some photos I'm sure will be attached here somewhere. So it's important that with the warm compress you're using, it's not hot, but just warm, comfortably warm for you. And in that sense, we're just softening that area before we try and clear it out. And it's nice that it's all nice and clear. Look, softening that area before we try and clear it out.
Well, what does the warm cloth actually do to it? Just softens it up?
Yeah, it just softens it because the contents in here, sometimes they can be, if they're freshly created, they're really soft, like really horrible, but really runny. But if they've been growing and developing for a while, they're almost like a thick, hard cheese, and we'll see that when some of it comes out. It's pretty horrible. It can smell as well. You really need a peg on your nose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Why would she try to pop it herself?
Oh, it's a bit like, I would think, a really large uncomfortable pimple.
Okay.
That is causing irritation and pain, and the guinea pig will literally nip at it, try to bite at it. It will become quite hairless in the area it's going to rupture, and that's the point at which we can then do something. Yeah, so abscesses can form on piggies at any point in time, and some of them are really large. I've seen them as big as golf balls and dealt with them at that stage. Guinea pigs seem to be used to that and certainly treat them all in the same way, where it's an irritation, a bit annoying, and they try and bite it until it ruptures. They actually clean themselves up as well.
Okay.
You can see there's nothing sort of running out of here, and that was really large. If we feel around the edge, there's not very much there, but there is a pussy centre to it. So I'm just going to shave back that area. The reason for that, I need to recharge these as well. But the reason I'm shaving this back is so that nothing will get in the way of the abscess when it's healing. It's really important that they heal from the inside out, and there's nothing going to get inside that area. Another thing to be aware of is that if if there are any flies about, or you're keeping them where flies are, it can cause real problems with maggots and being fly blown. So it's absolutely imperative something like this is handled carefully and doesn't become a problem. So we're just going to press around this area. She's done really well to clean it out herself, but we're just going to finish that and make sure. See this top that's formed? over where the infection is still there underneath. Just
Oh yeah, like the...
see, yeah,
Yep.
it's just like a little crusty top. That's what's formed where she's nibbled at it and bit at it. That's not live tissue. That's actually dead. So there's nothing alive in that tissue whatsoever. I'm just going to snip through completely dead. But what that will do is enable it to heal from the inside out, which is what you want. And we're just going to continue just getting around that edge there to make sure it is in fact cleaned out. So, stay there. Can use this just to go around just to make sure we've got. Sometimes you'll see a little bit of blood, like with a cut or a wound that has occurred, but it's not massive blood loss. You can see there's almost like a hole there. Can you see it?
Yep.
And that's where the abscess was. This was an enormous abscess. You can even see the amount of skin, and she's taken out most of what was there. It came out to around here, so it was enormous. She's done that herself. What we've done is just remove the rest of the infected area around there. We're just going to make sure it's completely out as much as we can, so that we've got a little hole. And we'll do some updates on this. And we're now going to clean it with, this is a wound antiseptic. It's actually a wound antiseptic, which is absolutely brilliant. And you can see now with me moving around how large that hole was. Can you see? It goes right down the sides there. See how large it is? Are you getting that? Yeah.
Yep.
And what that does, by cleaning that last bit of infection out that really was sort of left by what she could do herself,
Yep.
the wound will now heal from the inside out properly. We don't need to patch or cover that, but we do need to ensure she's not near any flying flies, any flies at all. And we will repeat the process of just syringing that out in 2 days' time, so it will dry from the inside out. A lot of people will say it's from a hay poke or some type of bite from another guinea pig. I've seen it occur for a lot of different reasons, and one of those can also be the application of things like coconut oil or oils to their coats, where it clogs the pores of a hair follicle and can then cause infection. So something to be mindful of. So they become an irritation, they will nibble and nip at them, try and scratch them, and at some point they will actually rupture and break open. The ones that are growing quite quickly, relatively, again, you'll see them come and go quite quickly. You may have thought you had something on the surface of the skin and then it's suddenly gone, when in fact there's a little remnant left, as you saw tonight. Unless that's actually cleaned properly, because that gunk in there is really quite infectious, unless that's cleaned properly, further infection can occur, and you want to avoid that. So it's really important, if you have had an abscess or a ruptured cyst like that, that it is cleaned out properly and it heals from the inside out. That way it won't be reoccurring, it will be dealt with, and Piggy will be healthy and well in no time at all.
I thought a good topic today would be to talk about cysts and abscesses. A lot of people sort of don't know the difference, or if there is a difference.
Yeah, look, they tend to be used interchangeably. Abscesses, or the word abscess, tends to refer to an infected pocket, and that infected pocket could come about through like a hay poke or a guinea pig, another guinea pig nip, or a bite or a wound injury. So it may be at an uncommon site, where sebaceous cysts tend to occur quickly from the ears back. But yeah, look, they're used interchangeably. Both of them contain infection, both of them will rupture, both of them cause irritation to the guinea pig, where the guinea pig is going to nip and scratch at it. And you can always tell when it is a growth. As the skin becomes stretched, it becomes hairless because the guinea pig's constantly trying to nip at it, pull the hair out, or scratch the hair, so it loses its hair. The point at which it's going to rupture is in fact the baldest area, and you'll often see little marks where the guinea pig has tried to nibble at it, specifically trying to get that area, and that's the point at which it's going to break open. If you think about a balloon, for example, if we've got a scratch on the surface of a balloon and we blow that balloon up bigger and bigger, we know that that's the point that is the weakest point in the wall of the balloon.
Yep.
So these work exactly the same way, and where the guinea pig is being irritated, biting, nipping, we know that's the weakest part of the wall, and in fact where it's going to rupture to.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of that healing, it'll take about a week before it's fully closed, and certainly that hole and that size is very capable of closing in that area. So we don't need to look at sutures or anything like that. That will actually close, and we'll update you so that in the rest of this video later you can actually see how that works and why it's important to identify that. See how nice and clean it is now? Hello, gorgeous girl. You are beautiful. What a pretty piggy. Hello. Say hello. It's not a great piece of grass, is it?
She's so pretty.
She's pretty, isn't she? She's an Abyssinian. Isn't she beautiful? She says yes, she's appreciating that grass. That's great. All clear. That's it.